Hello everybody, this is Zulfi Ali once again coming up with the latest news with humor and some inspiration. Today, Friday 22nd February 2019, this is video number 3. We're going to talk about weather, we're going to talk about current politics, and we're going to see if we can bring some humor to our video today. So let's begin. What's happening in America? Today the weather high is 44 degrees and the low of 31 degrees in Long Island region of New York. I can show you the weather. It's not bad. Like you see, I'm not wearing any jacket. It's a little bit cold to feel. But other than that, right now is 43 degrees. So it's doing pretty good. So let's talk about, begin with politics. There was a big disaster this year for New York. The disaster being that Amazon pulled itself out of the deal which was agreed upon between Governor Cuomo, Mayor Bill Blasio, and Jeff Bezos, the Amazon leader. Unfortunately, the deal was pulled out because of our newly elected House of Representative Alexandria Cortez. Please excuse me if I did not pronounce the name right. Unfortunately, she objected to the deal, and there were a lot of people who objected to this development that was going to take place in Long Island City, Queens. Problem is, they thought that the governor is giving away $3 billion. I'm going to correct it. Unfortunately, it was not the case. The New York budget did not have the $3 million in its pocket, but what was offered was $3 billion in breaks that New York region would have made from the deal, and then that break was given. Alexandria Cortez suggested that we should use this $3 billion for the development of schools, which is not a bad point. We should use this $3 billion for development of the city, which is not a bad idea. But unfortunately, this $3 billion does not exist as of now. It would only come up if Amazon build up their second headquarters in Long Island City, which would have been a great idea. It would have brought in a lot of jobs. 25,000 jobs Amazon promised, and while the construction was taking place roughly for 2-year period, there would be like 10,000 more jobs created for the development of the project, and it would have brought in some nice jobs, salary ranging from more than $100,000 to at least $125,000 to $150,000. All these people making money would have spent the money, and it would have been a great gift to New York. I still urge all the people who support this deal to please somehow pressurize the representative Alexandria Cortez, or she should look into the reality. If she can take back her thinking and change it, which would be a great help for New York region. So that's all the news about the New York region. There's a lot of other news. Now let's talk about the national news which is going on. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi from the Democratic Party, she suggested that they are going to go for a vote to block the emergency ruling of President Trump to build up the wall and the budget that he has sanctioned, $6.8 billion. The vote is going to take place on Tuesday, and it's going to pass very easily in the House of Representatives. As soon as it passes, then it's going to go to the House of Senate. They have 18 days to pass that vote. And most likely, it might not pass or it might fail, because some of the Republican parties, they are also opposed to President Trump declaring an emergency for the building of the wall. It should not be, first place, it should not have been done that way. But unfortunately, now that he's gone ahead, because he's so much into building up the wall that he thinks, because of the reason I mentioned earlier also in my last video, that if he does not build up the wall now, there is chances that he's not going to get elected. So for him to build up the wall is very important, but the way he's advanced to it, declaring an emergency to build up the wall, is not the right way. So it's going to go to Congress, the House of Senate. If it passes, or if it fails over there also, then it's going to go for signature of President Trump. Most likely he's going to veto it, he's going to go against it. Then it's going to go to the court. Court is going to decide, and it's going to go to the Ninth Ninth Circuit, New York. It's going to pass there. Eventually, it will end up in Supreme Court, and Supreme Court, I think, is going to decide, and whatever is best for the country may happen, because we don't want to get involved in all these fights and issues and like the progress of the country. The country comes first. One more thing I have noticed in politics, a lot of people, they work, the senators, the House of Representatives, everybody works along the party lines. My question is, you have been elected, so you should represent your people. Should you work with the party lines, or you should work for the country? My feel, it's world over, everywhere. If you go to see the politics, the way it works is, everybody first decides whatever is best for the party. They want to keep the name of the party. A lot of Republicans are not opposing President Trump because they want to play along the party lines. No doubt the party machinery will get you guys elected, but your first job all over, I appeal to the leaders of the world, first work for your county, work for your city, work for your country, and then you work for the party. The country should come first. Whatever it is, if something is right, is right. If something is going against the country, is not right, then you should go against your party also, because we want to serve the nation first, and then we want to serve the party. So let's see what happens. My question out, everybody, will President Trump build up the wall? That's a big question. Will somebody convince the New York region people to bring Amazon back to New York City, which would be really a great idea, bring in a lot of jobs. And let's see if we can bring in humor. Every day in our life, we argue with people, we get irritated, we annoyed. So I'm gonna give you some tip. If you get into an argument, then how you gotta deal with yourself. If you get into an argument with someone younger to you, count up to 10 before you talk. If you get into an argument someone equal to you, count up to 25 and then talk. If you get into an argument somebody senior to you, count up to 50 and then talk. And if you get into an argument with your wife, just keep counting and don't talk. And secondly, if the wife is arguing with you, the wife will keep talking and she will never count. So that's the thing. I'm also going to give you another tip. All those women out there, the wives, if you want to see a happy husband, what you do is try to understand him. Understand his feelings, understand his thinking. Even if you love him a little bit less, is fine, as long as you try to understand him. And for all the husbands to have a happy wife, what you do is love your wife to death. Every day, bring her flowers, make her happy, tell her I love you, keep her happy, and do not ever try to understand her. That way you will have a happy wife and a happy husband. I hope to see you guys again next Friday. Thank you. Bye-bye.